In Unit 17, we are continuing with 3D figures, but now we're going to move on from surface area to volume. Um, Volume, I think, will be a little bit easier for you. There's still formulas to follow, but there's a little less work to do. So in part one, we're going to talk about the volume of prisms and cylinders. So to find the volume of a prism, you're going to do volume equals capital B times H. Remember from surface area that capital B stands for the area of the base, and the H stands for the height of the prism. Now we're going to focus on two types of prisms, rectangular prisms and triangular prisms. So the formula will be the same, but naturally it'll change based on what shape it is because our base will be different. So if you look at our first example, this rectangular prism right here, we need to pick a rectangle that's going to be our base. I'm going to say that the base is the 7 by 6 rectangle. So when I plug that into my formula, I'm going to replace capital B with 7 times 6, because that's how I find the area of that rectangle. And then I need to multiply it by the height, which in this case would be 3. Remember, the height of the prism is the length that connects the two bases. So if I'm saying that the bottom rectangle is the base, that means this top one is my other base. So 3 is what connects them. And then I just multiply these three numbers together. 7 times 6 is 42, times 3 is 126. My unit is feet, and since I'm talking about volume, it's feet cubed. So if you look at finding the volume of a rectangular prism, it's pretty easy because you're just multiplying length times width times height. When we move on to triangular prisms, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Remember that we recognize that this is a triangular prism because that's what we have two of. We have 2 triangles and then 3 rectangles. So when I do my formula, volume equals area of the base times the height. Now my base is a little more complicated, so it's going to be 1/2 times 11 times 9. Okay, area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Remember, this is our little b right here. The whole thing is capital B. And then I need the length that connects the 2 triangles together, which in this case would be 12. So now I can multiply all those together. When I do that, I get 594. I'm in millimeters, and it's volume, so it needs to be millimeters cubed. Okay, so that's 1/2 times 11 times 9 times 12 gives me that volume. Next thing we need to talk about is the volume of a cylinder. And again, we're going to have the same formula, volume equals area of the base times the height. But we know when we have a cylinder, the base is always going to be a circle. Okay? When we're talking about a cylinder, the base is always a circle. So then we know that our formula is going to be pi r squared times h. Because pi r squared is how we find the area of a circle. So looking at our first example, we have a radius of 5. We have a height of 4. Again, the height is what connects the two bases together. So when we plug it into our formula, we're going to do volume equals pi r squared h. So pi is 3.14. The radius is 5, so 5 squared. And then the height is going to be 4. Remember, for order of operations, you've got to be 5 squared first. So I'd actually do 3.14 times 25 times 4, which is 3.14 times 100. So I'd wind up with 314 yards, and we're doing volume, so it's going to be cubed. So again, I did that just because I know I can multiply them in any order I want to make it easy. You can also plug that in correctly. I'm going to let you do the second one by yourself, but what I do need you to notice is this 14 right here is the diameter. So remember that you're going to have to turn that into the radius first. Looking at the backside, it says finding the volume of a solid. We call it a solid here because we have more than one figure. So it says the solid shown is comprised of a rectangular prism and 2 half cylinders. Find the volume of the solid, round to the nearest cubic millimeter. So I'm going to leave this for you to practice. So you need to find the volume of the rectangular prism, and then you also need to find the volume of the cylinder, and then you can just add those together. At the bottom is a little bit more complicated work. It says finding unknown dimensions. So they're going to give us the volume now, and we've got to find something that goes with it. So if you look, our first example is a rectangular prism. So we're looking for the length. We have the width. We have the height. So remember, our formula is volume equals the area of the base times the height. And the area of the base is just length times width. So really, we're just doing length times width times height. So we plug in what we know. We know that our volume is 1,800. We don't know what our length is. We know that our width is 20 and our height is 10. So 1,800 equals 20 times 10 is 200 L. And then to get the length by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 200. So we'll get length equaling 9. Okay, we need a unit or in centimeters, so we know the length is going to be 9. Alright, moving on to our next example. We have a triangular prism. So our formula is, again, volume equals the area of the base times the height. It's going to be a little bit more complicated since it's a triangle. So it's 1/2 times the little base times the height times the height of the prism. So we've got to keep track of all this. So we know that our volume, if I scroll up, our volume is 6,750. We have 1/2. The base of the triangle is 30. The height of the triangle is 25. We're looking for the height of the prism. So now I can do half of 30, which is 15. So I have 15 times 25 times h. 15 times 25 is going to be 375 times h. And then I can divide both sides by 375, and that'll give us our height, which in this case is going to be 18. So 18 meters. Again, notice that for the length from the first one, from the height of this one, our units are just the units. They're not squared, they're not cubed, so we're just finding distances here. And then our last example is a cylinder. So again, our formula for a cylinder is pi r squared h. So we plug in what we know. We know the volume is 943. We know that pi is 3.14. We don't know the radius, and we know our height is 12. So we're going to multiply 3.14 and 12 together and get 37.68, and that's times radius squared. And then again, our goal is to get the radius by itself in this case. So our next step would be to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 37.68. And when we do that, we'll get r squared equals 25. And then to get r by itself, we're going to square root both sides, and we'll get r equals 5. And we'll get that equals. So radius equals 5. Alright, that's all I got for this one. Make sure you finish any problems that I didn't do and ask me if you have any questions.